Ladies and gentlemen, when we hear the name Burkina Faso, most of us think of Africa's struggles, revolutions, and the breathtaking beauty of its natural landscapes. But there is something else, something surprising that has recently captured the world's attention: python farming. Now, the very first question that comes to mind is this: why would a country like Burkina Faso, long known for poverty and conflict, turn to python farming? And why has this unusual initiative drawn the eyes of the entire world? Stay with me till the end, because this story is going to shock you. And don't forget to tell us in the comments which country and city you are watching this video from. Our story begins in a remote village of Burkina Faso, surrounded by thick forests and valleys. This village wasn't famous for its beauty, but for a terrifying reality. Every year, hundreds of people lost their lives, killed by giant and deadly pythons. These snakes were everywhere. The villagers were so terrified that they couldn't even sleep peacefully at night. Children were forbidden from playing near the forests, and even working in the fields had become a matter of life and death. The villagers tried countless times to get rid of these snakes, but no matter what they did, they always failed. Things became so bad that the government had to step in. One day, a massive operation was launched to control the python crisis. Experts were called in, modern technology was used, and soon thousands of pythons were captured from every corner of the village. But then came the big question: what should be done with all these snakes? Killing them was an option, but then a young and courageous officer named Ibrahim Traoré, back then just an ordinary military man, came forward with a different idea. Unlike others, Ibrahim's vision was extraordinary. He did some research and discovered that python skin is considered a treasure in the global fashion industry. Luxury brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton use python leather to craft high-end bags and shoes, each worth thousands of dollars. Ibrahim Traoré explained to the villagers, "Don't kill these snakes. Instead, raise them. Take care of them. If we farm pythons properly, their skins could be sold, and this village's fate could be transformed." It was a revolutionary idea. The villagers, who had nothing left to lose, decided to trust Ibrahim's wisdom. And that's when the unbelievable journey of python farming in Burkina Faso truly began. For the people of the village, killing snakes was nothing new. They had done it countless times in the past. But the idea of benefiting from these snakes, instead of destroying them, was something completely new and revolutionary. The government also found this idea fascinating. They stepped in to support Ibrahim Traoré's vision, providing funds and experts to make it possible. By now, Ibrahim had transformed from just a young officer into a true leader. With determination and strategy, he laid out a complete plan. First, a specific area of land was reserved for the snakes, a controlled environment where they could be safely bred and cared for. This space was designed using modern methods, giving the snakes a natural-like habitat where they could grow healthy and strong. Every detail mattered: their food, their health, and their breeding. Caring for snakes became a science of its own. The villagers were trained on how to feed the snakes, how to monitor their health, and most importantly, how to preserve their skin so it could reach the highest quality possible. This wasn't easy. The value of python leather depended entirely on its quality. One mistake, one damaged skin, and the price could drop drastically. But with patience, effort, and discipline, the villagers mastered this new skill. Slowly, the village that was once haunted by fear of snakes began to take on a new identity. Where there was once terror, now there was hope. What was once a deadly curse had become their greatest opportunity. Each household now had a reason to dream, because this new industry was not only reducing poverty, but also creating jobs. The villagers' hard work finally paid off when, for the first time, python skins were processed and sent to the international market. And soon, the unimaginable happened. The world's biggest fashion houses, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes, all took notice. They were mesmerized by the beauty and quality of the leather coming from this tiny village in Burkina Faso. Not only did they accept the leather, but they were willing to pay enormous sums for it. That was the turning point. At first, only a few orders came in, but soon the demand grew so rapidly that the villagers themselves were left in shock. Dear viewers, let me tell you something important here. Brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes are always on the hunt for unique, durable, and exotic materials. Python leather holds a special place in their collections because of its natural texture and distinctive patterns, which make every product one of a kind. A Python leather handbag can start at $5,000, but when it comes to rare patterns and exclusive designs, the price can rise to tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine what was once seen as a terrifying danger in the village had now turned into a gateway to international luxury markets. This industry didn't just support Burkina Faso's economy, it also gave global fashion brands a new standard of luxury. And today in that same village, almost every household raises pythons as part of their daily lives. For them, python farming is no longer a nightmare. It is survival, progress, and pride. But the story of the pythons did not end with leather alone. As the villagers gained more experience, they realized that these snakes held value far beyond their skins. Instead of wasting the meat after extracting the leather, they saw another opportunity. In many parts of the world, especially in some African countries and across Southeast Asia, python meat is considered a delicacy. By learning modern preservation techniques, the villagers began exporting this meat to other markets where it fetched a high price. The snake's fat also turned out to be valuable. From this fat, an oil was produced that became popular in skincare. Cosmetic companies started buying it because of its well-known properties, keeping the skin soft and helping to heal small wounds. The women of the village began including this oil in their own herbal products, which quickly became popular in local markets. Even the snake's teeth, claws, and bones were not wasted. These were crafted into jewelry and decorative items that attracted tourists and buyers from outside. Because they were handmade, each piece reflected the unique culture and artistry of the village, giving their community a special identity. Friends, the story of this village in Burkina Faso is not just about the success of python farming. It is a remarkable example of human struggle, creativity, and determination. A place once ruled by fear and poverty is now filled with light, prosperity, and opportunity. Python farming didn't just transform the local economy, it gave Burkina Faso an important place in the global market. And behind all of this was the courageous leadership of Ibrahim Traoré. But with success comes responsibility. The villagers know they must use their resources wisely, keeping the snake population under control, protecting the environment, and respecting international regulations. Ibrahim Traoré has encouraged new modern methods to ensure that this industry is not only sustainable today, but also stands as a model for future generations. This story teaches us something powerful. When faced with problems, if humans use wisdom, hard work, and courage, they can uncover hidden opportunities. The people of Burkina Faso turned fear into hope and showed the world that challenges can only be defeated with determination. And so, dear viewers, that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming informative videos. Until next time, take care of yourself, your friends, and everyone around you.